Hear ye, hear ye. The slate may be gross, but the takes, they will be fire. We are excited today. We are excited. The Titans are back. The Kings not going anywhere, and neither are we. We're just going to give away winners today on this show. It's the Swolecast, Week 9, here on rotogrinders.com.
Can you see Mattek from the Swolecast? I was like, nope, that's me.
I just want you guys to know I'm total dust. I'm the problem.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Leave it to the guy with the crypto dunes, Abby, to not understand context.
I should have known you getting 30 likes was directly written by someone else.
You know me, I don't do a ton of research before the show.
I've put no research into this. Don't know if it's true at all.
You're on the right show.
Tape.
To it, bro. Live a little.
Live a little.
Just live a little, guys.
Fresh off the heels of a just tremendous week 8 here on the Swolecast premier first look show, we're back. David Kitchen here alongside Mr. Total 05, Dan Gaspar, Davis Mattek, and Peter Overzet. Guys, how goes it this week?
You know,
Good?
just 25 degrees outside. Like we can
brutal.
We can just hibernate. You know, no one expects anything out of us for the next 3 to 4 months. You don't leave the house. What is it? Thursday, the sun is going to be, gone. When's daylight saving time? Sunday.
Never
Sunday.
on a Thursday. Yeah.
Thursdays would have been quite the day.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's going to be dark at 4:37 Central Time. Like, it's over, man. It's over. Like, just prepare to gain 8 to 12 pounds of blubber. And just settle in.
I think they call it bulk season.
No, they just call it being a fat fuck.
It's the bulk season is the greatest PR move for
eat whatever you want.
Yeah, just to ever invent it. You didn't get
just
fat,
go
you're
ahead.
bulking. Yeah,
We'll just go ahead and say that the dad tax off of the Halloween candy was a little more than it has been in recent years, just because I wanted to teach these kids about inflation. So that was really me doing.
You said Joe Biden said I had to take 25% of your candy, bud.
Kids, sit down. We're going to talk about Bidenomics real quick.
What was your go-to? What were you taxing specifically?
Twix and Kit Kats, easy. And if there's any Sour Patch Kids, some of those too.
Kitchen being a chocolate guy is the chalk for sure.
100%. Literally so.
Pete's a little fruity, I think. The Skittles maybe.
That's coming to a cold open near you.
Yeah.
The Skittles maybe. I don't know.
Actually, no. I'm a chocolate. I mean, I'm not a big sweets guy in general, but last night we were giving out Reese's and Kit Kats, and I dipped into those toward the end of the night. Your
first Halloween as a dad?
Yeah, it was fun.
It's special. Okay. We actually we had our neighborhood. We went to a friend that is rich, so we could go to their neighborhood because they had full-size candy bars that their neighbors were giving out.
Is their name Dan Bach? Was that the name of the friend?
Yeah, this was Dan's name.
Cal Pears.
Yeah, Cal's just giving away lottery tickets. It is in his bucket for those ones.
That is like unironically, that is like totally the move though. Is to give away lottery tickets. That is the GTO thing to give away. Yeah.
My way back when, so my mom has like a big family, and it used to be our Christmas tradition. You do like the white elephant, Secret Santa type gift thing, but everyone would put a lotto ticket on it. It was like this really fun thing. And I don't even remember the exact specifics, but one of my aunts won like 3,000 on it. And it led to this huge divide about people were like upset, or was like, that was supposed to be mine. And then I was like, I guess no more lotto tickets after that. But lotto tickets are very fun for
So speaking from experience, if you're with a group of people that are not big on gambling and you want to get them in on something like that, this is what you have to do. You have to say, we're doing these all together. We're scratching them all off. We're checking all these numbers together. Yeah. And if the prize pool is over 5 figures, the sicko, says, I will get the money and I will split it up evenly amongst all attendees.
So
there you go.
There was a it's like a social experiment. Like, would you rather have the 100,000 rats and the bear or whatever? This one was a buddy gives you $50 to gamble. You win $100,000 off of that. What's the move towards the buddy? Give him a high five.
You got to make it
10%,
right. Whatever.
Half.
You don't not half.
What
half.
What was? I need more details. What?
Yeah,
like how was?
There needs
was
to
it
be
a
more
loan?
details.
Or like
I'm sorry. There's no room for context when it comes to internet memes.
No more context. It's 10K and move on. If there's more
I think
details.
That was my gut instinct too.
You're tithing basically. You're 10%. Yeah. I said it has to be more than 10%. I said anywhere from the 25 to 50% range.
Okay, let's make this DFS related. Let's say you buddy asks for a lineup or a base of a lineup, and you give him the lineup, and he banks with it. Now what are we talking?
15%.
I'm doing a 10 to 15% tip there.
Yeah, 15%.
What kind of tip
if
you
you
guys
give someone
give
a lineup
normally? It's a tip is 20% minimum.
But this isn't.
You got to adjust for the size of what we're talking about.
This may have happened. This may have happened out of personal experience. And I felt a little slighted off of 10K. I'm not gonna lie. So 100K was the bank.
Yeah,
I felt
and 10K you felt slighted. Yeah,
a little slighted.
I mean, I won Goulet $1 million, and I did not get 15% of $1 million. Let me tell you.
Well, no, there's
a reason.
Did you give him the lineup? That like the actual lineup. You didn't play this lineup anywhere else.
Yes,
a buddy had no input.
Yeah,
this was This was he had already qualified, Davis.
We had agreed to legal terms beforehand. Like we had.
You're talking about okay. No, yeah, that's different. That's different. Yeah,
the reason
you're talking like actual staking, and you actually have an agreement and things like that. That's different.
Yeah. But it has to be. I don't think you could feel slighted, right? Because how that plays out 100 times, 99 times you're giving a lineup they're like losing money or whatever, So you got to take on like the downside part too.
I'm not gonna lie, it felt a little light.
Well, let me give you guys an example of this actually happened to me. So at my old apartment, my neighbor is like, I do this NFL fantasy playoff league, like literally down at the local bar. It's all of like the townies, and it's just like the classic ones. You just do a draft or whatever. And he invited me to come play, and it was like $100 buy-in for a team, and it was like 30 guys. It was a pretty big pool, and I won the first year. So I'm like the asshole that they bring in, and he was like, just by the way, like you need to tip the manager. And I'm like, how much? And he's like standards like 20-25%. And I was like, that tax felt like pretty high I just did it, right? Because I got invited to this. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. They use it to pay for the food and whatever. But I was like, that's a pretty steep tax on winning this.
Yeah. We are revealing some character though with this question. I think that was the whole intent.
Yeah.
Eckham says $50 and cut off the friendship immediately. John Paul says high fives are the move. Who doesn't love high fives? So
anyone who is very deep in gambling, like who has been doing this for their entire adult life, like understands it's a pretty tenuous thing, but you can't leave your buddy high and dry. You cannot.
I did not get
high and dry
anything off of recommending DeAndre Hopkins last week. I got nothing. I also put in Dak and CD.
Touting is different.
I put Dak and CD in the FanDuel lineup. What did I get from that? Nothing. Just a few high fives on Twitter. And that's okay.
The free roll probably cashed.
That's okay.
Are we going to talk about the Week 9 slate, or
we are. Oh,
we're just having fun here. Boys being boys.
We're going to get into all of the Week 9 just amazing plays. Shout out to the NFL for just robbing us of
well, it's actually the funny thing is it's not a bad slate of games. Week 9 is not that bad. It's just the context of the DFS slate is.
You look at the available quarterbacks, which you will in a second, and you just kind of see like what this slate is. But before we do that, I want to get into the Overzets overview.
Got that dog in a butt. Got that dog in a butt. Overzet overview. Come
All right, guys, it is November 1st, which means Chalktober is officially over. The 40% owned running backs can finally stop hitting. Mercifully, it is over. Mentioned it was my first Halloween with April. I posted a photo last night on X, and someone responded that they never would have guessed I was a father. I was having a hard time interpreting what that meant. But I guess when you spend all of your waking life in your basement making fantasy football content, you don't really give off fatherly vibes. So, touche there. Also, last night, Dan Bach went full siege on Twitter complaining that his pizza didn't arrive promptly. I don't know if you guys saw this. Said it took 90 minutes and they weren't answering the phone. But here's the thing, Dan. Next time you need to tag the pizza place on Twitter. That's how you put the clout to work. You don't subtweet a pizza place there. So Dan, just a little pro tip for you. Next time the pizza isn't coming all snippety there to you. Will Levis took over for the Titans last week and threw 4 TDs. And this is the point in the story where Kitchen pretends he was all in on Levis from the beginning and claims him as an appendage of his tout tree. That's exactly what's going to happen, right, Kitchen?
Yeah, I mean, it's already happened, I think.
Davis Mattek won a showdown contest on DraftKings on Monday night for a cool 3,500, thanks to the Raiders defense and a Lions onslaught build. My favorite comment in the replies came from a user with Donald Trump laser eyes, and he just said, "This lineup illustrates how stupid showdown is."
It was a very good comment.
But anyways, since then, Davis has launched a new premium Substack. It's called Little Baby Shippers, where for $9.99 a month, he'll do one-on-one showdown coaching with you. So make sure you're subscribing to Davis's new site. We are on to the Week 9 slate. We shipped off our best game to Germany and are now left with only one game with a total over 45. But nevertheless, we persist around here. Back to you, Dave.
Yeah. I mean, just some amazing quarterbacks in action that we cannot play this week. That's, going into quarterbacks, looking at Dolphins and Chiefs, Bills and Bengals, Justin Herbert and Chargers, and dare I say tomorrow night, Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans. I don't think you guys understand from a boots on the ground take how quickly Titans fans went to doom and despair. Let's just get rid of it all, to we just found our franchise quarterback. After just
we hang out with you, Dave, who is the most perfect proxy for a
Dave,
fair weather
I do know
Titans
because
fan.
I saw the Arizona Cardinals fans do the same thing after Josh Dobbs beat the Dallas Cowboys in week 3. So I saw the exact same thing not that long ago.
Totally different, because we have seen Dobbs in the past.
Dude. Totally different.
We've seen Dobbs with like 4 different teams in the past.
When was the
We had
last
not
confident
seen Will
QB for Tennessee?
Yeah, exactly.
That's an actual question. Who was it?
Well, Tannehill in 2019, he only threw about 7 passes a game, but he was all right.
So that's what's going to happen here, right?
Vince Young was the last fantasy relevant where you thought he might do something. And I'm not saying that Will Levis is a future first ballot Hall of Famer, but the key
but he's
is
not
here,
not saying it.
But I'm not saying it. That's the key. Is that
all right? Well, can we talk about the games? Can we talk about the
hope.
games that are on the main slate for Week 9 NFL DFS?
Real quick though, Chig Vember tomorrow, right, Dave?
That's the take.
Chig dropped a 40-yard bomb.
He's going to redeem himself tomorrow.
It was pretty bad.
I will get on board with this Will Levis stuff if he can unlock Treylon Burks. If he unlocks Treylon Burks, all will be forgiven.
I don't know if that's within his powers, but that might be.
Dave's prayer circle on Sunday has to unlock.
Man, yeah.
You got to get the congregation to put the hands on him, and then we'll be good to go.
Yeah,
I said that Dave and Eric Decker were getting a prayer circle last week for Will Levis, and it worked.
And it worked.
Yeah, now it's Treylon's turn.
God, DeAndre Hopkins. The bags are full of DeAndre Hopkins. The unfortunate part is they're also full of Ryan Tannehill. So
yeah, Deshaun Watson.
It is what it is. Okay, let's go. Let's hit up the quarterbacks for this week, because, like we said, it is gross.
Well, there's 2 dudes who are projected above 20 points. They are Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. There is 1 additional quarterback who is projected above 18 points. Stack Prescott. Then by my count, the entire slate then, outside of Bryce Young, whoever starts a quarterback from Minnesota, Bajent, and Clayton Tune, are projected between 14 and 16 DraftKings points. So the reading between the lines there is actually very similar to last week, which would be if you have a take, and if your take is Sam Howell, if your take is Gardner Minshew, if your take is Geno Smith, whomever it may be, one, you should ride the shit out of that take because the field is not riding it with you. The entire field will be playing Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and Dak Prescott. I would say, I don't know, Tuttle, what do you think? 40% of the single entry contest will involve one of those quarterbacks probably. So ride that take. And if you are a game theory bro, I mean, I guess you better be. Pete did say it's no Sims November, but I mean, if you get the right answer between Hurts, Lamar, and Dak, again, you are going to be dusting the field because a lot of the time, I mean, we've already had slates this year where no quarterback on the main slate beat 20 points. And if you find the one guy who does get 28 and has a stack come along with him who gets 30, like you're winning with the snowflake in your lineup level of domination.
What I'm hearing, Davis, is it's Vibes Vember. Vibes Vember is how you just follow your heart.
Wrong. I don't think a vibes-based system this week is bad in any way, honestly.
Okay, well, who better to bring the vibes than $4,500 AOC, Aiden McConnell?
I mean, David, sadly, I would like to agree with you. I actually think Aiden O'Connell is going to be above 10% owned in the contest I like to play. I actually think people are just going to play him.
And
people love AOC.
He will be played. And now you got Taylor Heineke, who's starting this week for Atlanta. I mean,
all right, can I launch my first terrible take of the show?
Yeah.
Heineke doubles with the Jordan Addison bring back. Can I interest anyone in Heineke unlocking? Like, it would just be so GD poetic if Drake London and Kyle Pitts hit in the first game ever together.
Isn't Drake hurt?
He said he's fine. He did get banged up, but after the game, he said he's fine.
The worst part of that take isn't even the Atlanta stuff. It's forcing a bring back with Jaron Hall's wide receiver.
Dude, no, well, first off, he's going to get benched at halftime for Josh Jacobs. Like you can all already see into the future and know that's happening. But the Sims, Peter, they don't really like the bringbacks. That's like far and away the number one thing I've learned this year is that the Sims believe people are over bringbacking, particularly in these lower total games. But it's vibes-based November.
What's the total rush share in that game gonna come out to? 60% plus?
Minnesota's offensive line is so brutal that I just don't really think they can afford to do it. Like I think that part of it is that Madison's terrible, but they just can't. Like they're going to be in 3rd and 7 all game if they try and do it.
Oh gosh, these quarterbacks, AOC, Heineke. I'm looking at like if you sort any projection system by points per dollar, you are just going to get some real winners. PJ Walker, Mac Jones, Gardner Minshew.
So
Baker.
let me ask Tuttle then this question: so you're getting basically an extra $700 to $800 in savings, like going down to Aiden O'Connell from the Baker Mayfield, the Gardner Minshew types. Is it enough savings to make him the overwhelming punt QB from those other guys?
No, not really. It will be interesting to see how it shakes out. I think we have enough value elsewhere too, where it's like the 45 to 5,200 is not going to matter. I mean, it's pretty obvious where when Davis has like an on brand, like an actual accurate ownership take with quarterbacks, you know, it's going to be a pretty obvious week. So like when the high price guys are going to take up nearly 40% of single entry, like I think that's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Looking at this, but there's so many cheap guys but there's so much value at the other positions where I don't think O'Connell's going to get steamed. Unless people like really, really feel like they want to.
No, dude, I think he is going to get steamed. I think he is.
I don't see it.
Legit steamed.
I just don't see it. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't see it. I think you'll see people make take stances
Will,
like we try to
will,
take. Like,
will
the Stroud
Daniel
stance.
Jones get steamed? Will Daniel Jones get
No,
steamed?
No.
this is kind of where the issue is, and why you're seeing O'Connell as being like an okay option, and why he might get some ownership is because where else do you go? And your summation to start the show was pretty spot on in the sense that, like, if you have a stance, take it. And when I was doing my very limited research up to the show, I had an initial stance. Then I'm like, no, this guy's too bad to take a stand on. But he hasn't even been mentioned yet, which is kind of saying
Dak?
something about this.
I have
slate.
one
No,
too, and I'm wondering if you're going to say it.
Derek Carr.
Dak?
Okay. That's not even that gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's like the top 5 or top 6. That's where he's being drafted in the underdog drafts too. He's like a top 5 option this week.
Oh, I didn't even see this comment in chat. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Carr, you actually have some stackable partners with him. The
about
issue is
Dak?
the other side of the ball, but what's that?
We already mentioned Dak like 4
Yeah,
times.
Dak's part of the 40% ownership in single entry lineups that or contest that Davis was talking about earlier.
I have a real gross one. Like I have an actual gross one that I'm interested in.
Oh, I bet we could all name who it is.
Does it rhyme with Dak?
Does it rhyme with Schmal?
No, Tuttle's on it.
I got it.
It's Mac Jones. The Commanders are just waving the white flag, and they were already the worst secondary in football. They're giving up like 40 points a game. And yes, the Patriots have no wide receivers. I hear that, but this is a good spot. Mac Jones hasn't been bad this year. He just doesn't have any help whatsoever. Demario Douglas, it doesn't even seem like Devontae Parker, he wishes, is going to play. I also kind of like, I think you could do it with Hunter Henry. Maybe Gesicki gets some more looks there, but I don't even know if you have to force a ton. But like, if you're going to give me AOC versus Mac Jones at $400 difference in the ownership gap, I'll take Mac Jones every single time.
Yeah, and I think Mac will go like completely unknown. Who do you stack him with?
It's Demario Douglas. That's the only one.
It's Demario.
Or Hunter Henry, I think.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you're double stacking Mac Jones.
Well, who's he throwing it to? He's got to throw it to someone.
Douglas.
You could do the Ramondre stack. I see that one in chat.
I think this would be my issue with Mac Jones, which it would just be like they're like down to playing like Jalen Reagor, and it's just like I don't know.
Tyquan Thornton. There's the.
You must not have seen. You must not have seen Big T's flow chart to know that this is a nut spot. I think is what the verbiage is for.
What's the flow chart?
You didn't see the flow chart, Big T?
I missed this. I want people to know I came up with this take on my own, but I'm now calling it the below the load spot of the week. It's Mac Jones versus the Commanders.
Below the load. I love it.
What about Bryce Young this week?
I don't hate it. I mean, what does Thielen cost? Like 8,700 by now. So that may be Adam Thielen is unironically $7,500 Adam Thielen. I mean, I can't. No,
That's not who you pair him with.
Mingo.
Yeah, that's
I don't know. That doesn't really do it for me.
3,400 Mingo with Bryce Young.
At the end of the day, I'm probably just going to do what all my fellow slappies are going to do, and I'm going to play Lamar Jackson, and I'm going to pair him with Mark Andrews, and I'm probably going to call it a day. I'll probably do one Lamar with Andrews, one Hurts and Slappy Smith, and then I will do a vomit stack of some degree, and I don't know what that vomit stack is yet. It will not be.
We could do Geno. We could do Geno.
Yeah, Geno. How about JSN looking like a real boy out there, scoring a touchdown in a game where Lockett smashed and Metcalf got 14 targets? How about that?
Oh man,
people are saying
Andrews.
People are saying
if you play Andrews, are you not playing Trey McBride as well?
I'm just gonna go ahead and say there's a decent chance Trey McBride already had the best game of his entire career. I'm gonna say.
Oh gosh. I
that's not even that big of a diss. Like
correct.
Like 26
he had the most
PPR points.
He had the most expected points in a game
and
of any tight end all season.
At halftime, I thought I had made a brilliant swap because I had to swap because I played Taylor over Kamara.
Me too.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you?
Oh, not in cash. Is this cash?
He played
Taylor.
John.
Oh my God.
No, I
was
played
talking about
Tony
Travis. I
Pollard.
was like, I played
No, I
Travis.
played Pollard because I'm a donkey.
Oh, I played Pollard as well. I played.
Did you do the Purdy Hollywood Kittle swap?
It wasn't Purdy and Kittle. It was Burrow and Chase, and then I had to choose. I was $300 cheap, or short of McBride, so I had to use like a rand. I think I did.
He
Drew
played
Sample.
Colby Parkinson.
Drew Sample, and it like at halftime.
David, why don't you ever come into the secret chat and be like, guys, my lineup is dust. What do I do? Like, this is like what I do.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Late
I would have
swapping
made
in cash is what I do.
I would have made the correct swap if they just ended the games at halftime. It was the second half.
Totally. Yeah.
That really
I love that. Let's just pull back. This year, Davis has played Irv Smith in cash, and Kitchen has played Drew Sample in cash.
By the way, did we see 4 for
Drew
45 for
Sample.
Irv Smith last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to get him going. They're trying to get
You
him
were just
going.
early,
Shout out.
Davis.
He fumbled on the goal line. He stinks.
We gotta
Also
get
wanna
that
give a
guy,
shout out to Tommy Tremble. All dude
Tremble's
does is
been-
score
yeah.
touchdowns.
He's a
So,
gam.
All right. Let's move on. Or actually, we got to create a DraftKings lineup. And Pete, I want you to tell people where they can expect to see this lineup.
Yeah, looks like inflation is hitting DraftKings. Only 2 free rolls up in the lobby right now. There is, of course, the 5K Guinness Time Challenge, but we are going to keep going back to the 5K Challenge DoorDash and Clay Matthews Sunday Football Series, a tournament name that just rolls off the tongue and is easy to say and share with friends.
Okay. All right.
Beautiful.
Pete, you get first pick.
We play the best plays around here. We like going back to the well. We like martingaling, doubling down. Jonathan Taylor.
Oh.
So what was the excuse they came out with for the second half usage?
I still haven't seen one.
What was
Yeah, I
the
haven't.
follow up there?
I've not heard anything conclusive. Yeah.
That bonus was just like lurking there.
What was it? 3 yards or
It was
1
5
yard?
yards. Yeah.
Okay. Jesus.
All right, can I go? If we're
Yeah.
just donking off and doing the same dumb shit we did last week, I'll take $6,800 Tony Pollard against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Jesus. All right, we got Kitchen's cash game lineup from last week.
Yeah.
This will be the only exposure I have other than a Mazda Miata worth of Tony Pollard in all these dead best ball teams. Man,
This is the best ball copium lineup.
Dude, I wanted a Mazda Miata so bad when I was like a teenager.
they were cool.
That
They
shit
were
looks
cool
so
18
fire.
years ago. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go now. A lot of people might be playing this guy in cash, and that's Aiden O'Connell. I'm going to go on the flip side and do something that people probably aren't thinking of right now, but they will. And that's Giants defense.
All right.
2,300. Let's lock it in.
You had me really scared there for a little
Yeah.
bit.
Ah,
I was real scared.
David,
right.
what will Giants defense be owned in the massive $50 double up this week?
after I said it, probably 40%.
Yeah.
Just kind of get that uptick and moving the lines there. Tuttle?
Let us go kind of chalky currently, but we're gonna go Chris Olave.
Nice. Well, then let's just stack them
let's
up
go
with
Carr. Yeah.
All right, we'll ride the car stack.
Carr Olave. All right. No one has ruined this yet other than me. So that's pretty good.
All
Are we
Pete,
are we bringing
you're up.
this one back?
Only Davis 20 minutes ago. Sims say we're forcing bringbacks too high. That just can't help himself to force a bringback here.
I've been saying this before Sims ever did.
Yeah.
I want some credit there.
What does the buy low model say?
Said
By
don't
low
commit
model
election
already put
fraud.
Chris Olave in our lineup. All right, let me do my. I think Demario Douglas is going to end up being super popular.
yeah.
Let's do
Yeah.
Hunter Henry at tight end.
Oh.
Is he
I
even
like
running
this
routes
because I
these
think
days?
Komet will be the common bring back as well.
Yeah. What did Komet have? 10 catches in that
10
game?
targets, 10 catches.
Wild.
Yeah.
I'll still allow a DJM bring back if that's where you're headed, Davis.
All right.
I'm afraid of Marshawn Lattimore.
Davis.
I'm gonna take Nico Collins against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the rebound play from last week where the Slappies played him. He didn't get there. The Slappies, it always is the week after.
Oh, that means I can't play. I was going to play Mingo and let us go 2 stud receivers, but that changes things. So
you can spend all the salary you want, Dave.
That's right. I'll just go big, and I can't play CD because we got Pollard.
Little
Let's
AJB
just
mini.
Let's go to Cup. Let's just plug him in. See what we get this week.
That's the kind of analysis I like. Let's just plug him in and see what we get this week.
Actually, no. Let's go to AJ Brown.
I was gonna say you could spend $100 for the best wide receiver in football tied to an actual good quarterback.
Let's go to AJ Brown. There we go.
Brett Ripien.
Wow, AJ Brown more expensive than Cooper Kupp.
As he should.
Kind of wild.
This puts us in a little bit of a weird spot. Not gonna lie.
No, we double. We double. Yeah, we just play. We play Shaheed, and he gets 27 points on his 3 targets. I don't know why you would doubt that.
Gosh,
you know it's so hard to pull the trigger on guys like that. But
here's what you don't understand.
4,500 nonetheless.
This is what you don't understand, Tuttle. If you would just log in to Zone versus Man Twitter, you would see that Zone versus Man had this peg already. Obviously they all knew that whatever scheme the Colts were playing last week, that was the scheme that Shaheed always gets open against, and it's clearly the explanatory variable, and there's nothing else that can explain him getting there on 18 rounds.
Let me just say, when I searched Twitter before Monday Night Football for Devontae Adams after I had locked him into the captain spot, and the top analysis was cover 2 defense, blah blah blah. He's over 74 yards because 67% of the time. Oh, I
honestly,
feel good about that locking.
It was a reverse thread the needle situation because the guy had 2 go routes that could have gone for over 70-something yards.
That's not reverse thread the needle.
I was going to say,
that's thread the needle. And David, if you knew anything about betting these thread the needles, you'd actually know that the last 60-yard catch ruined it because his line is 2.5 catches. So he had gotten the needle had been threaded. He had over 100 yards and a touchdown. It was like 150-1 payout, and then the last catch broke the thread the needle.
What?
His line was 2.5 catches.
Shaheed or Adams?
I'm talking about Devontae.
Yeah,
Adams.
we're talking. Yeah, I was on Adams too. I wasn't tracking the situation.
Well, it also wasn't a reverse thread the needle because he had 2 catches in the game, so it's also missing the point.
It would have been. He would have had he was on. It'd be 3 catches for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
So that's still not a reverse
Adams.
thread the needle. That's just a regular thread the needle.
Whatever.
It would have been an epic.
Hang on, can you pull up that lineup real quick once more? I just want to let the listeners and viewers know a little etiquette thing. If you guys win any money this week with a single player that's in this lineup, you have to send each of us 50% of the proceeds. So I'm talking about a single guy in here as producer Sosa frantically tries to get these back in here after he cleared it out. But yeah, if I see a winning screenshot with Nico Collins and one of you guys wins the millie, that's $500,000. Just that's
correct.
Etiquette, right? That's what you do.
That's
in this
etiquette.
space.
Yeah.
This is what
All right, you're good, Sosa.
Sweat
this is what I'm saying for week 8. I gave people the showcasing DeAndre Hopkins take, which they did, and then also
showcasing it for what?
For their future franchise Hall of Famer. Not to get rid of him. It doesn't matter how we got there. The point is we got there. And then also CD and Dak. I didn't get anything back. Which is
I've actually been.
You know what? If you want to give something back, you like and subscribe. That's what you do. You like and subscribe. That's how you can help us.
Totally.
And, if you actually played a Tutu Atwell last week because we said to put it in the lineup, then that's your own fault. So let's move on to running back, please. We've got a bunch of gross running backs that we can take the chance on. The question is, do you want to take the chance on them? Davis has already answered it.
I don't think I can really play Tony Pollard with my own money anymore. I mean, maybe I will by Sunday morning because, every DFS site will increase his projection by 20% of what it should be based off pure hopium. And he is 6,800. And I don't know, maybe the Cowboys finally play a normal game with a normal game script. It's all possible. But, I mean, the best plays at running back, I think Ramondre looks pretty strong. I think Chuba Hubbard looks pretty strong against the Colts. Jonathan Taylor, I will probably go back to. And then, I mean, just like fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on. You can't get fooled again is what I always say with Bijan Robinson. 6,000 last week, 6,100 this week. Yeah, I mean, I will probably play Bijan in cash this week, I think. I don't know.
What?
I got to think.
Wow.
You're playing a Falcons player in cash in week 9.
It's not like the headache thing was just like it really was. It's not anything he played 74% of the snaps last week. He got targeted 5 times. He had 11 rushes. What more do you want from him? Like the role is as good as it's gonna get.
Oh, hard pass. Dude, it's Wednesday. I'm working on the cash shell right now. I'm not gonna lock it in and say if you send me a 109 and play me this week, it's for sure gonna have Bijan in it. Okay, with all this value,
people are done sending me 109s after I've dunked on them 2 weeks in a row. I'm sad.
With all this value around, isn't Saquon kind of in the mix?
No.
Yes.
Not in cash, in tournaments.
39 touches.
Yeah.
He's in the mix.
I was going to say, so like 5 years ago, this has stuck with me. I got mocked for saying Adrian Peterson was going to get 30 carries against the.
No. You
49ers.
did. It was Adrian Peterson and Marshawn Lynch, I believe. And you said they were going to combine. Maybe not Marshawn Lynch. Maybe
it was the AP like 30 carries.
You said these 2 running backs were going to combine for 60 touches.
That might have been part of the bit. Yes. That's like real. That's realistic with Saquon. Like it's
less realistic with Daniel Jones though.
I don't think I'm not like. Isn't this guy like one hit away from permanent neck damage or something going on?
Yeah.
So like they're gonna play it conservative. If the Giants have their way, he's gonna get 30 touches.
I mean, Tua was one hit away from like retiring.
Yeah, that was rough last year. But I mean, Saquon, you can do it.
Davis, he seems like the safest play at running back. You're over here talking about playing Bijan.
The thing is that, and this is really the element we've come to expect on DraftKings now, is just that when you're in that price range, you like every wide receiver better. I like Lamb, I like Kupp, I like Brown, I like Adams, I like Metcalf.
But not this week. You can't like those guys over. I mean, half of those guys you just mentioned have big question marks and red flags this week.
We're trying to help you out, Davis. You've got people like Johnny Footballs. Can you pull this quote up on the screen? He says, Davis, what's your cap on head-to-heads that you'll accept? Just curious. I'm not a cash player, but it sounds like it could be a fun little sweat.
There you go. Drumming up some business on a Wednesday afternoon.
If I think you're bad, I'll probably play you to 535.
Let's do it.
If I think you're fine, like if I think I'm break even against you, I'll play you to 215.
Do you think Johnny Footballs with a Z is you think he sounds like a good cash game player?
Johnny's been crushing it on underdog. He's probably distracted on DraftKings.
Yeah, I don't like that. When I say good, I mean, do you have access to establishtheRun.com or RotoGrinders?
Well, obviously they're watching this show.
Optimize.
If they're watching this show, Davis, it self-selects as an extremely sharp audience who's trying to get a jump on the competition.
Well, some people watch the shows and then they're like, I'm going to IKB and play MBS and cash. Like I've gotten some of those, so you never know. But I want to
know how much. I want to know. I want you to play Johnny Footballs. I want to see how much of a fun little sweat this is. So tell him the amount to send you for a head-to-head.
Send me a 109. I'll scout it out, and then if you're bad, we'll play for more the next week.
He does not.
All right, you can send a 215. You can send a 215.
He says optimizers, Davis ups it to a 215.
The optimizers are up here in Johnny's head.
Johnny
We
Football
love
is
the
just a
hand
brain.
builders.
He's a brain player. He's a
I
brain.
will
Hand
say,
builders are friends of
does-
the show.
Despite the Z in the name, he comes off as above average intelligence.
I don't think
typical chat member.
I don't think this guy's bad. I'm probably trading Rake versus him, but
Yes.
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
All right. Well, I want the
This
update
is how
on
Jason
next
Robbins
week's show.
wins.
This will be good. Okay. All right. Let's talk about like risky running backs that you guys like this week.
All of them. They're all risky.
I'll give you my favorite. I was shocked that Jerome Ford even played last week, and he still was almost neck and neck with Kareem Hunt in touches. It's pretty clear they want him to be their lead back, and now you have him at 5,300 versus the Cardinals. I think Jerome Ford gets back to 70%, 75% of the running back rush attempts here. More capable of a big play, I think, than anyone else in that backfield. So yeah, I like Jerome Ford.
That's a pretty gross take. I like it.
So your read on the situation is you think they want Ford to be the lead guy.
I mean, I thought they were going to put him on IR. And this guy came out after not practicing all week with this ankle sprain, and he had similar amount of touches as Kareem Hunt.
Well, wasn't like he only played like 2 snaps in the first half though. What was
right? But I'm saying just the fact that he was already out there that much, and now we have a full week of practice and a really good matchup home versus the Cardinals. They're not going to throw the ball much here.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Davis, you have to choose between Hubbard, DeMarcado, or Cam Akers.
Cam Akers isn't even in a conversation.
Yeah,
He scored a touchdown last week.
My flag plan is Bijan. I will be probably 100% Bijan last week. I'll probably be 100% Bijan again this week.
Amazing.
I want the DeMarcado conversation because he's in my early builds. He's looking like he's actually going to be chalk. I know his workload's been like massive the last few. Does this not feel like a rug pull situation eventually?
They've already rug pulled.
They've already
rug pulled with
Keontae.
But they rug pulled him the first when he was
the reason.
And then
the reason
really
why
solid the last 2 weeks.
The reason why he's flooding optimals right now is Damian Williams is on the IR, and so none of the work that was being given to him is being projected to anyone else. They're going to call Corey Clement up from the practice squad, and that's going to move like 1.5 points off DeMarcado, and he's going to stop flooding the optimals.
No, you're wrong.
Playing
Tony Jones is already getting projections.
Wow,
playing Cleveland sounds gross.
What do we think Cardi has for the Arizona backfield split on a Wednesday afternoon?
Keep in mind, they don't have Dobbs anymore back there. So this gives even more market
Clayton Tune. If anyone's unfamiliar with Clayton Tune's work, he's like kind of fun actually. I don't think he's.
He was in a fun system in college.
Sure, but like I love watching.
That's 100% where it stems from.
No, but I like watching these air raid guys try and do it in the NFL. Like obviously a lot of the times they're terrible, but like I don't know. Give me Clayton Tune over Tommy DeVito or Stetson Bennett or whatever, like just these statues who offer like nothing. Like at least I know Clayton Tune, if they just ran mesh 70 times, the dude could throw for 280 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. Isn't Tune like super old?
Pete, pull out the book. Pull out the book, Peter.
God, yeah. The perfect pass.
This is why you like Case Keenum and
yes. Absolutely.
Timmy Chang.
Ironically.
Big Timmy Chang guy as well.
No, that's maybe before my time.
You don't remember Timmy Chang? Hawaii.
Mm-mm.
He's the coach at Hawaii now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What time did you say your hard out is, Kitchen?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, 15 minutes. Let's get on to wide receivers.
No, everyone has to flag plant a shitty running back. Mine's Bijan. Peter,
I just did mine. Jerome Ford.
Tuttle.
Oh, I can't. Wow. I mean, the way Davis frames it, Saquon's a shitty play, so that'll be.
No, you cannot have the high.
I'm gonna go back.
God,
I'm gonna go back to a guy that is just he's the alpha in that system, and eventually it's gonna happen. Rashad White.
That's not shitty enough. I don't think.
It's not?
Yeah, that's not really.
I think that counts.
No, yeah, everyone hates Rashad White, so I'll give it to him.
5,600, that counts as a shitty play.
Yeah, sure.
Man,
I'll
I'm
give it
really
to him.
left with scraps here.
Say Aaron Jones.
Is Ramondre shitty enough?
No,
No.
Yeah, I think that's
number
snap
one.
fly.
He's the number one points per
He's
dollar.
gonna be
runner.
We're giving
Oh my
giving
gosh.
Dave Rashad White, and I'm not getting
No,
Ramondre.
you
I
get
really-
Ramondre
I
because
thought
people are
one
going to
of
play
you-
Ramondre and Zeke's going to score 2 touchdowns.
I
That's
really
what's gonna
thought
happen.
one of you would have the courage to say that the Eagles getting their
Hubbard.
starting right guard back was going to free up DeAndre Swift to have his first 100-yard
That's
game
not a
since
gross
week
play,
3.
though.
He's not
That's
bad
not
enough.
gross. We're trying to do.
That's
You
the
asked for
issue
gross
here.
plays.
All right, okay,
Yeah,
whatever. Guys.
we have different
Hey,
definitions of
hey,
gross.
Whatever, man.
Like a Packers running back would be gross if somebody wants to
Yes.
use the Aaron
I
Jones
said Aaron
thing.
Jones. Yeah.
Bijan, Aaron Eisenberg is missing the point. Everyone has already bailed on Bijan. It's week 9 and
It's
everyone's over
It's
it.
not bailing on
Davis is so
Bijan.
mad.
It's not bailing on Bijan. It's bailing on this.
What, David? You get what I'm
Offense.
saying. My username on DraftKings is Davis Mattek. Everyone can just send a game to. It's just my name, DAVISMATTEK.
He searched short king, but nothing came up.
All right, let me make this point on Bijan. Then we can
Yeah.
move to wide receiver, which is that everyone has already put Bijan in the Drake London, Kyle Pitts bucket, right? Where it's like it's not happening for him. It is completely different. Bijan's usage, I mean, it's not been amazing, but it has been good. If you take out the headache game, I mean, his workload looks like a B+ running back workload.
It is a pretty big rug pull, Davis, that you wanted to do the exercise of making us get really gross running backs, and then you're like, mine's Bijan, who projects better.
Because
than
everyone
all of
hates him
these.
already. We're already there, dude.
There is a narrative behind it, and honestly, he's got Tyler Algier that could vulture touchdowns from him. So I will give that to you, Davis.
All right, let's
It
move
is
on to
funny,
wide
though,
receiver
that-
before Dave's hard out.
Yeah, it is funny though that you are going to lock Bijan in on a Wednesday. You've already locked him into 100% of your contest, but Saquon was just a nah wave from
No,
you. That
he's fine.
is a little funny.
He's fine.
Okay,
Again,
let's move
it's
on.
Wednesday.
Let's move on to wide receivers, please. You got to play one expensive receiver. Who is it?
AJB.
Because CeeDee Lamb is showing up in the optimals.
Yeah.
I don't even like $400 price difference between those two. I don't even know how it's close.
Yeah, it's not close. But this will be the week Devontae is the alpha.
I was gonna say,
right?
I think for me, I'm clicking. Devontae.
It was week 17 last year that Devontae, or was it week 16? Yeah, that Devontae
Week
just
16
ripped
against
up
the 49ers
Cowboys.
was Stidham,
Okay.
right?
I actually think the 125 AJ Brown seems like a person that would actually be like aware of the 125 yards less in a
absolutely
receiving game.
Great read,
thing.
Cuddle. Yes.
Yeah.
Very.
So he's like, I
good.
have to keep getting this because
Yes.
I'm completely aware. Of
Well, you want to go even deeper than that. He also, I think, is very aware that he and Tyreek Hill might be in like a
single
duel of the
season
fates sort of situation to see who can get more receiving yards. Yeah, no doubt about it.
They both are on pace to break the single season receiving record.
And the Eagles also, as an organization, care about records. They care about awards. They care about these things. They've shown us this stuff in the past. They've like made
Plus, we've seen
decisions.
I
the Disney
remember-
World pick with Jalen and AJ.
I remember a couple years for the past few years, you asked Davis for a take. He says, well, the projections tell me that so-and-so is point. Now it is the Eagles organization as a whole care about records.
It's Vibes Vember, Dave.
It's
No,
Yeah,
Dave, it's that I have evolved past
Yeah.
needing just the projections because the projections are only
You are the bell
the starting
curve.
point.
You are the
Wait, who was the one that faded Kobe Bryant when he went off for like 80? What was
Wiggins. That was Wiggins.
the narrative? Oh,
Kyle and
Oh,
Kyle and
it's
TJ and I are in
5,400.
chat. Just like
There's-
I think he played Gordon Hayward over Kobe Bryant instead. It was
Like
just-
5,400.
how many points did he need? I mean, it was some absurd number.
he just
but it was
wanted to
pretty
get
clear.
50. He got
Yeah,
50 in his last
All
game.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to say though, CD was targeted an absurd amount of times last week, so it's not that hard of a, just to see that he is 14.
The only
targets.
reason it's close
Okay.
is like if he had that game 4 weeks ago, and then you had like reverse the order of his games, like
Yeah.
AJ Brown would be outpacing him in ownership by a wide margin. You're just paying the last week touchdown tax.
And
Zay
I think
Flowers.
you could make a real argument that was not something the Cowboys are going to make. Like, they're not going to build the entire offense at it. It was like a 1 week to be like, okay, CD, like, please stop complaining so we can run the dang ball 2.3 yards per carry.
Zay Flowers still sits at 5,700.
Look, I like fancy Wan'Dale Robinson as much as the next guy, but I might be done with Zay Flowers in tournaments.
I mean, literally, his price tag has not moved since week 3.
You mean JSN if he didn't score touchdowns? That guy, Zay Flowers.
Oh, JSN is actually getting real targets now.
Right. I mean, he had an ADOT of like 0 last week, but
Zay Flowers is the reverse thread the needle guy last week.
David, you are not understanding that is right. That is roughly right, but they're not.
Everyone credit Dave as the inventor of the reverse thread the needle. It will tilt Davis to no end.
What? It is the reverse thread the needle, right? Like you said.
It is. But DraftKings doesn't let you always take the under on yards for guys like Flowers.
This is how
like
we're spending our time.
Yeah.
Lawton thinks on what David thinks the reverse thread the
No,
needle.
I got it right.
He did get it. He did get it right.
Davis was not.
Davis. So I do just want it on the record. I was at least a little bit wrong about Zay Flowers. His ADOT is higher than Jackson Smith and Jigba's. So congratulations. Congratulations to him on
7 targets, 5 catches for 19 yards last week.
All right, can I get a terrible take out of the way while we're here early?
Yep.
Yeah.
Michael Wilson over Demario Douglas in tournaments.
Bring it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's $500 cheaper, but I would also enter Mingo into that conversation as well. Because Mingo's playing all the snaps.
Yeah.
So 3,400 there. Wan'Dale,
probably
3,500.
Wan'Dale, like, you're glad you took him in the last round of your best ball teams, but like at this stage, I just don't really know if he's got any. Like, can he get 16 DraftKings points? I don't know.
You guys got to get better at your terrible takes. You got to get better at your terrible takes.
Okay.
What do you got?
Darnell Mooney, obviously.
Oh, okay. All right. It's too far. It's too far. You have moved too far.
I'm scared of Marshawn Lattimore.
Okay.
We're gonna have a little shootout here.
DJ Moore moves all around. They run him out of the backfield.
I'm scared.
I'm
scared.
Well, look, if you're really
Darnell Mooney 100 yards and a touchdown.
Tuttle, you actually missed a chance to use a terrible take on a guy who was in the $1 million lineup last week. One Mr. Michael Gallup, $3,600 leverage off of popular CD. That would have been a terrible take.
What did Gallup even do? It was just
I said to play him.
Right?
Do you know what Gallup did? It allowed him to play Trey McBride at tight end instead of Jake Ferguson, who scored more raw points. I was kind of shocked to
too far from the guy who took Pollard. You know what? Fair.
I would have thought if you would have had me look at the Millie Maker and be like, what was the winning stack? I would have thought it was like a Sam Howell skinny stack to Jahan Dotson that allowed you to get like AJ Brown, Lamb, McBride. But
it's now coming back to me, all of the picks, and I'm getting increasingly frustrated that I did not receive any tips because I said Pittman was going to be the squeaky wheel last week as well.
He didn't even get 100 yards, bud.
He got touchdowns and lots of targets.
I think he might have gotten out targeted by Downs.
Downs got lucky. Pittman's 6,600 again, 13 targets last week. And they started off. The thing is, they start off. That's when you know the narrative is real, is when, like, in the first drive, they get 5 targets.
Okay. I mean, that's actually true. Yeah.
Because those plays are scripted. Can I ask Tuttle a question? That's what's going on with Christian Watson? He's under 5K. Like,
the offense is terrible. That's the answer. There's no elaboration. Green Bay's offense is terrible. I mean, we saw it even when Aaron Rodgers was there. They don't want to run plays, so you have we're looking at like a super slow offense, and now they're terrible on top of it. So like they used to kind of be able to get there based on efficiency, and now they just can't do that. he's cheap enough where like one big play is going to make it look all right. So it's not the worst.
I mean,
play in
he
the world.
got 9 targets, including 3 end zone targets. It's just like, well, one, Tuttle, do you think this report about Sean Clifford maybe playing is true? How true do you think that is?
No, they can't jump ship that early. I hadn't seen the report, but that'd be too early to jump ship.
How long does how much longer is left on Love's contract?
I don't know. They play him out the year though for sure.
Didn't Levis leave Penn State because of Sean Clifford? I'm pretty sure that's true.
Yes.
Maybe they think they got their own Will Levis.
All right, I got a couple other wide receiver terrible
please.
takes. McLaurin, when Dotson ends up as inevitable chalk when Curtis Samuel doesn't play, just play like Dotson will be the most popular cheap wide receiver, but play McLaurin instead. Keep going with the Downs train. Tyler Lockett over DK Metcalf, but JSN is a perfectly cromulent. Baltimore Ravens bring back being the terrible element there. And I do think that Atlanta-Minnesota game has just a smidgen of a chance to be fun, but really the element there is I think I'm ready to say this on the show. I think Jordan Addison is him. Capital H. I think he's him. I think he's really good. Yeah.
Seeing what is happening at USC this year with the receivers definitely clears the concerns, because it was weird seeing Addison just dominate at Pittsburgh and then not being really like he did something.
They rotate their wide receivers. Like no wide receiver, USC wide receiver plays more than 60% of the snaps. It's like a Lincoln Riley thing. He did it with
it's also a Caleb
too.
Williams. Like I know that he's not playing as well as people expected, but when you actually have a good quarterback that doesn't have to lock into the best receiver on the team, that also really hurts.
Only other ones I think Davis, did you put Nico in one of our lineups? Yeah. I think flop lag on the Texans wide receivers, both him and Tank Dell. And then I also think a little flop lag on like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Godwin's probably too expensive, but stuff with that Houston and Bucks game, I think could be a little fun.
Yeah, would agree with that. All right, let's create a FanDuel lineup.
I got a hard out in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
man, if I have a bad week in cash, the Swolecast audience is going to be rich. They are sending the head-to-heads. They're coming in thick and fast.
It. Amazing. I'm not getting any invites.
Well, they know you play too good. They know you don't use an optimizer. They know you might show up with Drew Sample, and no one wants
that was because of a previous suboptimal situation.
Drew Sample. How do you end up on Drew?
I've been there. No, I've been there before in Dave's spot where it's like the only way I can get the player I really want is to take a 0 somewhere else. It's never a good idea, but I've been there.
So I'm just looking naturally at the pricing for the first time. We do have to play Tony Pollard at 6,600, right?
That's so cheap. Yeah. I mean, he'll be chalk.
Yeah. Davis, lock button, your boy.
Should I deposit on FanDuel this week to play my sweet prince?
To play a chalk Tony Pollard? That
Davis,
sounds like
Davis, get your Bijan in here. Bijan's only 7,100 too. You can just play all the disappointing running.
Will he even be that? This is the thing that you would have to answer for me, Tuttle. Are people on FanDuel like, are they just going to play the projections on Pollard, or are they fish enough that they're like, not even fish enough? I don't know. Maybe this is smart to just be like, this projection's wrong. I'm not playing him.
No, 66 is too cheap. You might like once we're getting into like the mid sevens, maybe on FanDuel, you're talking about guys like, okay, this guy's sucked this year.
We got to go. I'm getting added in another channel for my meeting. So Pollard, I'm gonna throw in Josh Jacobs.
Sure,
because he's a prototypical FanDuel running back. And then
all right, let's do Lamar. Let's do Lamar Andrews. We barely talked about the best quarterback play of the slate, so let's do Lamar and Andrews.
Okay, Pete.
Let's play the cheap D. Put in a cheap one.
Let's get Mike Evans in this lineup.
Okay, and we go Panthers versus Minshew.
I think that's fine. Mike Evans. Should we mini correlate him with Nico
or Dell?
You don't have to.
What's the price difference here?
I'm saying you don't have to.
We don't.
Nico is 6,800.
Nico.
Tank Dell's really better on DraftKings if you think about it.
We don't have
Oh
to
God,
do-
I can't do that. Never
Let's
mind.
go flex. Let's go Ramondre.
Okay.
And then
Are we
that
gonna
gives
make our
us
best lineup ever here in like 2 minutes?
that gives us 6,500 average for
We need Lockett or Metcalf here.
Do
Metcalf.
we? Yeah. Metcalf's really better on FanDuel.
DK.
Oh,
and then we go
Prototypical
tank.
FanDuel wide receiver.
Who
If you go
gives us
DK
5,800?
Yeah,
I mean,
you go Tank.
who in their right mind would take Tank Dell over Darnell Mooney at the same price?
Yeah, we got to put in
Ooh.
Tuttle's flag plant.
Who in their right mind? No, I mean, I can't even do that.
Tuttle, you can't give out this take and then not put your money
33 he's
where this
3,300
fake
on
lineup's
DraftKings.
mouth is.
He's not the exact same price as Tank Dell.
All right.
You got to put Tank in there.
Look at this. Tuttle has too much
Okay.
integrity for a lineup that no one tails.
The only thing I want to talk about now is Davis, you mentioned Andrews. Is it a double tight end week?
I mean, it was last week, so it probably will be again this week. Am I right?
That's how probability works. Yeah.
I think any slate that Travis Kelce is not on, it's going to be pretty hard for me to co-sign with playing 2 tight ends. I just think that's a tough sell.
Okay.
You either have to do it to
don't
avoid.
do me, bro, but send me a percentage when you.
Exactly.
That was good. That was very
So-
good content.
So double tight ends, you
Exactly.
can really only do when there's elite, like Davis just talked about with Kelce, or if you're breaking the salary floor with McBride last week, where you're going
Yeah.
under that 3K that you can't open up if you go with 3K
An
receiver.
astute point by Mr. Tuttle 05.
We've also got
Which we don't
Njoku going up against McBride on the other side. Other than that, yeah, it's whatever.
Darren Waller revenge is nobody talking about? Is
Yeah, but
Waller
isn't he
even
hurt?
okay?
I don't
know.
trust him.
Yeah,
I
he
don't know
hurt.
if
He
he's
hurt his.
got
He hurt his
hammy.
hamstring.
Hamstring, like, yeah, he's not coming back from that.
I
It's been the
mean,
hammy for a while.
I got a couple terrible takes at tight end. I mean, obviously
Gesicki?
the first one being Pitts. I think Pitts is again.
All in on this Atlanta offense.
We've been freed from the tyranny of Desmond Ridder. Like, I think people really are underestimating just how bad he was.
If this hits, I want you just to do a PR campaign for Arthur Smith and just tell all these fantasy and NFL guys that they need to back off.
No. I hate him. Arthur Smith is I'm 31 years old. I've been really following the NFL for 20 years. He is my least favorite coach ever. Not even close. And then how about one Mr. Taysom Hill? It's going to be leverage on a popular stack. The dude is running routes. Taysom Hill is going to finish as like the 5th highest scoring fantasy tight end again, but he like literally is doing it all. He actually has more carries inside the 5 since Kamara returned than he did before. Like and projections are never going to account for him the right way, but especially on a week without Kelce, like I think he can be the highest scoring tight end in any given slate.
I like it.
Okay. All right. Terrible take, Tuttle. What was yours?
I've left you with nothing, David. If you can't connect to the Darnell Mooney terrible take.
Oh, that's right.
I also have I have a terrible underdog play for those people itching for the pick'em tonight.
Ooh.
Yes,
This is the worst thing I've ever touted.
Okay.
Ball State at Bowling Green. Ahmad Edwards over 15
No,
and a half
Tuttle, Ball
receiving
State.
yards. Over 15 and this guy is like Chris Hogan at the end of his prime, where he's just out there, he's just running straight
routes.
lines, he's not getting targeted, but he's on the field nonstop.
You could have
Okay.
given out a good one because BGSU is like kind of
just
That
gave
is
out
a
winners.
good one.
Give
That
out
is a
winners.
good one.
You
That's
want
on
to drop your
brand.
Venmo too, so people can tip you after they win?
Yeah.
No.
Cash App. Okay,
I'll
Davis.
start
Hold
getting
on,
charged back.
Sosa.
We'll get started for all the
So
losses.
put up Tuttle's Bitcoin address. Just we need a little QR code.
Okay, Davis. Final thoughts.
Just go with God this week. Do your Lamar Andrews, Bijan, and build from there. But just remember, it's as Peter said, it's vibes based. November. Don't let the computer tell you what to do.
Pete.
Everybody get your head-to-heads over to Davis this week. He's flush with his little showdown shipper cash. You
Not
gotta get in
anymore.
while the
Not
getting's good.
anymore. I got
Maybe
3
shippers.
109s in the last 5 minutes.
Blood in the water.
All right. Is that your final thought?
It is.
I'll
Sorry.
say sometimes things don't look like they're going the way that you had planned, and you think that maybe it's going to be tank season and everything's going to be a fire sale. And the next thing you know, you're being invited to watch a future Hall of Famer during the Shipcast. And that's where I'll be tomorrow, watching Will Levis with the ship chasing crew and JJ late round QB. So he's staying up and watching this. So we're going to be on together. So tune in.
That's the ship chasing channel tomorrow. It'll be fun. Also, you got to check out that thumbnail. We got Dave photoshopped
It
on
is
the
literally
Levis.
one of the greatest thumbnails I've ever seen.
I might have to go buy some mayonnaise to put in my coffee tomorrow.
You should.
Chick
All right.
member, Captain.
All right, that'll be it. I'm 7 minutes late for a meeting. I'll have to just understand. We'll see y'all next week here on the Swolecast on rotogrinders.com. Peace.
Peace.